The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Hello YouTube, I'm making this special for y'all. It's got a good video in the back. It's got a very disturbing video in the middle. And this beginning here that I'm showing you now is just as disturbing. So I want y'all to read it. Take your time reading this. The rest of it just listen to. I know I'm not much to listen to, but I'm gonna have to tell you I told you so a long time ago. When I first started this, I told y'all this was coming. Now it's amongst you, and it's here. So I don't know, folks, but I don't know what else we can do but show you. And y'all reload. If I can get the remix button, y'all reload it, copy it, whatever you have to do, get the message out, send it out to everybody you know. That's all you can do. This right here, they trying to get away with that person, and then they come over and start beating two of them, the one that stayed behind and the girl that done beat her almost to death. I've made this video before, but this is another clip of the same thing. I mean, grown men beating on a woman like that. Look at this. Jumps on him. This is coming to a theater near y'all, people. As hard as he can go. But all I can tell you is heads up, much love, and you know, the best comment for the video, the part of the video that comes next after I get through talking, you'll understand once you see it. The best comment will be much appreciative. Much love to y'all, and heads up.
I'm very pleased for the men and women in uniform that Congress has come together in a bipartisan fashion to pass the Defense Authorization Bill. This bill has a pay raise for our military. It deals with our Wounded Warrior program. It has a lot of benefits for military families. It authorizes the equipment that our military needs to fight the war that we're in and the wars that we could be in the future. It allows detention in the law of war. We're no longer in the box of having to read Miranda.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly.
Miranda rights to terrorists who come to America to kill us. We're giving authority to the American intelligence community, law enforcement community, and military to detain someone who gets to America and
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly.
attacks us here at home to gather intelligence. This idea of requiring Miranda rights and providing a lawyer to a terrorist who makes it here to America to kill us all, I think undercuts our ability to be safe. If you can detain somebody overseas wanting to attack America and not provide them a lawyer or Miranda rights, you should be able to do it here, because this is the battlefield. America is the prize of the enemy. So now we have better tools to defend ourselves and gather intelligence. Homegrown terrorism
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly.
is a real threat. There are a lot of people being radicalized on the internet. So if someone goes to Pakistan as an American citizen, gets radicalized in Madras and comes back here and starts attacking Americans, I want to make sure they're held for intelligence gathering purposes and they're not read the Miranda rights, but they're held by the military, the CIA, and the FBI to find out is another attack coming. These are the things we should have done years ago that will allow us to defend ourselves and provide due process. Every person detained will go before a federal judge, and the government has to make its
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly.
case. So this is a great bill for the men and women in uniform. It has a huge bipartisan vote. I've been working on the detention language for years, and I could not be more pleased that we're better able to defend ourselves now in the war on terror, and the threats we face are real. We're at war, we're not fighting a crime, and now we have the tools given to our military, our CIA, our FBI to better protect America, and I'm proud of this bill.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly.
In history, there are events which stand as milestones, marking points of no return. Usually, however, such moments are only visible in hindsight. The Enabling Act passed by Hitler in 1933, followed by the Reichstag fire decree, were passed in Germany with little resistance and without public outcry. And even though those laws nullified the German Constitution and handed the power of life and death over all German citizens to one man, no one noticed that the line had been crossed. No one expected the chain of events which were destined to unfold. No one understood that Germany had already passed the point of no return. On December 15th, 2011, on the 220-year anniversary of the ratification of the Bill of Rights, the U.S. Senate passed the National Defense Authorization Act of 2012. The bill officially gives the military the right to arrest anyone, U.S. citizen or otherwise, and to hold them indefinitely without trial. And since the government will not be required to produce one shred of evidence to support its claims, a mere accusation of belligerent activities is now all that is needed to declare you an enemy combatant and to make you disappear forever. You might hope that such powers will never be used, but history consistently proves otherwise. Throughout history, it has been the norm for political dissidents to be imprisoned and executed without due process. Throughout history, it has been the norm for political opponents to be taken from their homes in the middle of the night on charges of treason. When a government assigns itself the power to imprison and kill without trial, its motives are always the same. The United States is not an exception. If there was any lingering shadow of doubt in your mind that we had passed the point of no return, it should be gone now. If it isn't, then you aren't paying attention. We are in the 11th hour. We are witnessing the final stages of the police state falling into place. The stage is set, and we have very little time to influence the events that are headed our way. Right now, we must form a coalition across the left and the right. We must set aside our petty differences, no matter how important we think those differences are. We must unify against our common enemy. Our government has become a mere figurehead to the real powers that be. The Congress, the Senate, the executive branch do not represent our interest. They are bought and paid for. They are corrupt beyond all repair, and they deserve nothing less than to be arrested and tried for high treason. We the people have the power to take them down. It's in our hands right now. The government's power is derived solely from our obedience. Its wealth is derived solely from our labor. Its strength is actually our strength. Take it back from them. If in one unified strike we withdraw our money from the banks which have gorged on taxpayer dollars and cut off all payments to credit cards, loans, and taxes, if we refuse them our obedience and our labor and stand in defiance with clear intent, we will bring the machine to its knees. But we can only achieve this if we look past the artificial dividing line of left and right and act in unison as one people, as one nation, indivisible and focused on our goal. We must mobilize as if our lives and our children's lives depended on it, because they do. This is the 11th hour.
And when they say, I want my lawyer, you tell them, shut up.
Your time has
Get a
expired.
lawyer. You're an enemy combatant.